Hi, Khody.
Hi, Fedor. Good evening.
Good evening, too. Thank you. Thank you very much for talking with me to find the time to this interview. And it will be interesting for me and the audience to know how your studies at the Business Institute, how is it going? Well, we will start for the simple question. So tell us a little about your background and why you decided to enroll in the entrepreneurship and the small business management program.
Okay, great. So, my background is I have a pretty formal education, about 2 years studying an accounting degree, but unfortunately, I didn't complete the full 4-year program because my interests were going in a different direction. I wanted to kind of focus more on entrepreneurship. I didn't feel like my accounting program was kind of leading me in that way, so I decided to, take the big um, risk on myself and drop out. So then about a couple years of me being out of school, like I wanted to navigate the entrepreneurship realm, but I didn't really know where to start. So I did join a couple very condensed entrepreneurship programs, like from Futurepreneur and Rise. Although I didn't after I completed both of them, I didn't feel like I was confident in my entrepreneurship capabilities. So then after that, I decided to join their not-for-profit incubator programs, and that was great. It was a lot more comprehensive compared to the other programs that I was in, and I got to learn a lot of information, and I felt like I was able to get all the tools that I needed to be successful for my not-for-profit venture at the time. So fast forward, after I went through the not-for-profit program, they're doing a more of an extensive program for entrepreneurship and small business management. So I'm like, you know what? Because I have more of a long-term perspective for learning. Where I feel like learning should be like a constant thing. Learning should never stop. So I decided to, dive deeper. So yeah, that's a bit of my background.
Okay, interesting. So how did you approach researching and choosing the institute?
Okay, so basically, I was referred to several different entrepreneurship programs. After I completed the program, one of the instructors referred me to it, one of the top 5 programs that was referred to me. So I applied to all of them, and the only one that got back to me. So that's kind of how I came up. It was through a reference.
Interesting. So what were your initial thoughts and concerns about the learning?
It probably would have been things that I've already heard before, because I'm coming from 2 basically very condensed entrepreneurship programs.
Yeah.
So my concern with the learning was that, okay, I probably would have been hearing, concepts that I'm already familiar with. And it turns out that actually in the program, I did learn some things that were similar, but I learned a lot more, and they kind of expounded on certain things that I was learning in the previous program.
Okay. Interesting. Curious about what has been the program until today. What benefits and you have noted?
So yeah, the great thing is that at the end of every course, we do a milestone. And basically the milestone is there to kind of, so that you can do work on your business throughout the program. Through the milestone assignments, I've been able to get a lot of work done, specifically for business planning, and also planning for the future milestones, things I would like to reach my business years down the road. And that was great. And also to kind of get, constructive feedback from the professors to kind of, help me figure out, okay, what I should probably revisit and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been great. I'm basically just getting my business plan being built as I'm doing the program.
Okay, you talk about the main stones and all this. It's good, it's nice, but
Mhm.
can you explain about the resources and the support, what support provided by institute?
The resources I would say are the faculty, the instructors of the program.
Mm-hmm.
They offer more opportunities for you to get into contact with them, kind of like outside of the lectures.
Mm-hmm.
And in certain cases, you can have like more one-on-one time with them to like answer specific questions. So that's been something that I took advantage of a couple of times, and it's been useful. So that is one resource that I would really like to highlight. So yeah, another resource is the students that we have. We're actually, I'd say, yeah, even though like we do a hybrid model type of learning, like, in person and online, we still do a good job of kind of having that good classmate relationship, because we do have like a WhatsApp group chat and we're able to contact each other, for example, ask questions as to, oh, how are you doing on this milestone assignment? I'm having issues with this specific question, and also we would even have meetups like outside of the lectures to kind of talk on things. So yeah, I'd say both the instructors and classmates itself or themselves. But another resource that I would like to mention as well is something more further along the line of your journey for being an entrepreneur, is being access to kind of funding.
Mm-hmm.
Offers is funding so that you can kind of reach your next steps along your entrepreneurship journey, because for first time founders, it's hard for us to kind of access capital.
Yeah.
So Yeti kind of makes it easy for you to have the opportunity, given that you do apply and everything looks right.
Interesting. So I understand that you are still going through this program, but
Yeah.
maybe you already have some results. Can you share what kind of results you have today?
You know what, Fedor? So unfortunately, I I I don't really have much results for my business as of yet, because right
Maybe your
now,
personal growing.
oh yes, my personal growth for sure, for sure. Yeah, I've decided to kind of dial back from working on my business and kind of focus more on learning, because I feel like when I was kind of doing both, trying to work on my business and learning, it's like I wouldn't have much takeaway from the program. So I was able to kind of make the decision to kind of, you know, step away from try to work on my business so much, and actually um focus on my studies and also finding employment as well. Because currently, um, as an entrepreneur, there are times when money's running low and you need to work. So I kind of have my priorities different now, but definitely like feel like my confidence is growing, my ability to be an entrepreneur and kind of know how to go through the stages of building a business successfully.
Okay, so let's talk about the Canada. Interesting. I don't know. You're from Canada. You're original from here.
Yes, born and raised in Canada.
Can we talk about the any myths or stereotypes about the Canada that you think are not true?
We can talk about true stereotypes, I like to say. We're friendly. We're friendly people. And also it's true in like our habits. You know, we always say sorry if we do something to someone else and it's like nothing. For example, it's like I accidentally drop something on the floor and I'll say sorry. It kind of gets like that, but we're very kind people. I don't know. Could you help me here, Fedor? Could you kind of
Yeah, sure. Maybe I don't know. They drink maple syrup every morning.
Okay.
Okay, it's true. You
Uh, You know what? Definitely not true. We don't drink maple syrup, although we do love maple syrup. Like maple syrup is my go-to sweetener. So yeah, it's definitely up there.
Okay, so what is your experience with the Canadian healthcare system?
It's been a pretty good experience with the Canadian healthcare system so far. Me personally, like the health challenges that I have are I have asthma and also eczema. So I've always been able to kind of get treatment for that, and it's been very, you know, affordable because in Canada we have health coverage. So yeah, it's always been great for that. But I mean, I'm a little biased when it comes to health because I feel like um, the the medical system doesn't really highlight things that you can do on yourself to kind of better treat you. So this is kind of a controversial topic, but I believe that there should be more of an emphasis on what we can do to kind of, better ourselves and our health conditions. So for example, like emphasizing lifestyle, like, what can you do to lose weight, for example, Um, so yeah, I mean, overall good for the medical side, but I feel like there needs to be more of an emphasis on preventative medicine, how we can keep ourselves healthy.
Interesting. Okay, and what about the impressions of diversity and inclusion in Canada?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'd say we're very inclusive in Canada. I haven't really experienced any racism personally, not that I can recall. Like for example, I live in a pretty predominantly white city, St. Thomas, and I haven't received any type of prejudice or racism. So pretty good. And I believe that even in the more diverse your city, the less you're going to be encountering these things. So like, cities like Toronto, for example, and even Montreal, other major cities that are diverse. We have a whole bunch of different cultures, and it's nice for you to also explore different cultures through friendships with one another. So
Exactly, exactly. I agree with you, absolutely. Can we talk about the labor market and the job opportunities in Canada? What's your experience with that?
Canada is plentiful for offering jobs. There's actually like um we have so many jobs available that we like actual Canadians aren't really filling the jobs, so we have to go to other countries to get workers. For example, like especially in the medical field, like nursing. So yeah, like there's plenty of opportunities in Canada to get a job. Me personally, I haven't had any difficulty, well, except for the fact that it's kind of self-imposed. Like I have been working for about 7 or 8 months now because I decided to save up for a while and kind of work on my business, but unfortunately that didn't really turn out so well. So kind of now I'm in the stage where I'm looking for a job in personal training. So in order to get the job, I need to do studies and then pass an exam and then do a practical exam and then get the job. So that's kind of me. But um yeah, definitely a lot of jobs available if you put yourself out there and like try to, market yourself as an individual, because people are looking for soft skills, not just what you have on a resume. So if you're a friendly person, you've got good people skills, then it'll be easy for you to get a job.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I think it's more easy to find a job in Canada usually in another country because you should to be nice. You just need to be the kind and connect with the people. This is important things here. It's what I found.
Exactly. And that's true throughout like all different types of levels of employment. For example, like a white collar job or a blue collar job, like even in, your white collar job working in the office. Yeah, your resume is important. They want to make sure you kind of have the education, but what I've learned is that what they value more is the person, like your character. Are you going to benefit are you gonna brighten the atmosphere in the workplace? This is stuff that employers really care about.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I know you not live in Toronto, but can we talk about the availability and accessibility for public transportation in Canada? There are a lot of stories about how this is a big problem in Toronto, for example, when you need to travel somewhere from Toronto to Toronto and you spend like 2 hours for that. Do you have some experience with that?
Well, I do have some experience taking public transport in the GTA, because I actually came from Brampton about a year ago. But the thing is, I've been driving for a long time, so it's been a while, since probably about 5+ years since I've really taken transportation. But I mean, what I can recall back in my days of taking the bus, like back in Brampton, it was okay. It was okay. It wasn't great, but it was okay. Like,
Exactly.
and what do I mean by this? For example, especially like in the winter season, buses would normally run every 20 minutes, but
Yeah.
sometimes in the winter, if you miss the bus, you might as well walk to your next destination because you're gonna be waiting a long time.
Yeah.
So probably like 40 minutes. Like it gets that bad. But I have taken public transport in Toronto a few times, and it's been pretty good. I want to say the buses and streetcars and subways like that, they run pretty frequently, and it's a nice system set up so that like major bus stops, you can kind of see like when the next bus stop is coming.
Yes.
So it kind of gives you like more of an indication.
Exactly. I agree. It's a great system actually. Just send this message, when the next bus come. Yeah.
Exactly.
What is your experience with the Canadian government with and the bureaucracy?
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, this is going to be a controversial topic. Oh yeah, me personally, I used to love the Canadian government. I used to really admire Justin Trudeau. I'm like, such a great and handsome man. He's a great leader. But then, the pandemic happened, COVID happened, and then there's a big side especially when it came to getting the vaccine or not getting the vaccine. And it seems as if the people on the minority side were demonized because of their personal opinion, and that kind of changed my perspective on the Canadian government. It went from admiring him to not really liking him so much. I'm not going to say I hate him, but I mean, I guess, when you're running a country, you have to make these tough decisions, and not everyone's going to be happy about it. So, but I mean, aside from that, like, I feel like the Canadian government does do their best to kind of make this country good and livable for its citizens. Like, we're a relatively safe country in Canada. I mean, especially compared to the US. I feel like not everyone's okay with the gun laws, especially down here in Canada. And also when it comes to like education, I feel like they're doing great in that. I'd say the Canadian government is good.
It's good. It's good. It's good. It's not bad. It's not bad. Okay.
Yeah.
Come back in the topic. Canadian lifestyle. What do you think about that?
I want to say the lifestyle is very similar to, the States, the United States.
You think?
There's not really much of a difference, except for when it comes to like recreation, for example. Like, in the wintertime with all the snow, there's more things to do for like winter sports, like, tobogganing. You can go skating. Oh yes, culture-wise, I want to say culture-wise, we do have, it is kind of more of a hustle culture when it comes to working, especially in America too. Like, there's a big emphasis on work, and what you do for a living kind of makes up a big portion of your identity. So in Canada, it's more like kind of focus on work, kind of like the rat race, you try to, you know, do the best you can for your career, and you don't really focus on, a lot of people in my experience don't really focus on, you know, rest and relaxation, which is important. But yeah, you know, there's a lot to do recreation wise. You know, if you go out and party, you can do that. Me personally, I'm approaching my my late 20s now, so I'm not really, don't really indulge in that anymore. I'm more focused on, you know, kind of like the work culture, trying to build my career.
Okay, so last few questions for you. What advice would you give to hosts considering the small business management program?
So be prepared for the information that you'll be learning. It's going to be a lot, and it's going to be covering a lot of different areas of business, like from financials, you know, dealing with the numbers, financial planning. When it comes to your business plan, like visioning, for example, that's like a really important topic. And also be really focused on understanding the concepts that you're being taught, because they're going to really help you along the way. Also, I mean, like anything, like you kind of get what you put into it. I'm not saying that you're going to be the next Elon Musk or Bill Gates after you complete this program, but you can if you want to.
Exactly, but you can.
You can if you want to. So yeah, be prepared to get a lot of information and kind of do your best to keep up with all the assignments and stuff like that, and engage in the class.
And then finally, what advice you would you give to who consider moving in Canada?
My advice for people coming to Canada, well, you know, to my understanding, being living in Canada, it's my understanding that Canada and the US are one of those really sought after countries that you would like to, you know, live in and kind of live the American dream per se. And I want to say, yeah, I mean, I believe that Canada is a really great country to kind of help you get to where you need to be. It's really good in terms of like education, getting good education, and having an opportunity to build a business, for example. And, you know, we're a pretty safe country. We're a diverse country. So you can, if you'd like to stick with your own kind, for example, there's a lot of areas that you can look at where it's specific to you, and you can go there. But yeah, I want to say Canada is a good country. Yeah. You kind of will get this a similar experience to what you experience in your current country, because it comes down to your perception, right? So if you feel like Canada is going to be a great country, it pretty much will be a great country. But if you think it's going to be a bad country, then that's probably what you're going to get. But it really comes down to your perception of things.
If you move in Canada from any country, you will be Canadian after a few years. You feel it, Canadian, because this is not the nationality. This is the principle. This is the principle of the freedom, the principle of tolerance. This is the spirit, you know, like this is how you think. And this is the great things what I found here in Canada. And in USA, it's different. In USA, they say USA. You can't say.
They're very patriotic there. They're like, you know, and they get really into politics there compared to me, especially in my friend group. We're not really big on politics, but I feel like we would be much so if we were American, you know. So.
Yes. But here in Canada, they never say Canada. It's not enough. It's what is that?
Exactly.
No must say that. Just they live. They just say happy. Okay. So, Khody, thank you very much for finding the time for this interview. And I'm sure this video it will help the people make decisions. See real examples of people who have received results, who study already in this program. Thank you.
No problem, Fedor. It's my pleasure. I'm looking forward to, continuing to be a part of the alumni network and kind of still work with them in the future for other opportunities. So, yeah, I definitely like to be of service and help out.
Thank you again.